We've got a new one for you, the Schwaben 26-piece stubby socket bit set. We've also got a little bonus here for you as well. Now, you may not know the Schwaben name, but it's actually pretty well known when it comes to tooling and tools for a lot of your German-made VW, Audi, BMW cars and mechanics that work on those cars. Primarily from ECS Tuning, you can find a lot of the Schwaben tools. That's where we got this kit from. And we've got a little bonus kit here for you as well. So let's take a deeper dive into the Schwaben stubby socket driver set. There are a couple of key features that I want to point out, both in the products themselves, as well as even in this simple blow molded case, right? Obviously not a high-end case by any means, pretty typical, but they took a little time to kind of think some things out here. Now, the Schwaben tools, I don't see a country of origin on them anywhere, but I would assume China or Taiwan, but the engineering and the machining and the tooling on these are really very well done. I've looked at their socket sets before and some of their wrenches as well, and have been very happy with both the design of them, the feel of them, the finish of them, as well as the use and even, like I said, the tooling and milling on here. I'm not finding any kind of, bad quality control issues, if you will, and definitely not any problem with quality issues. So what we get here is a stubby bit set. Not so much a stubby socket set, but a stubby bit set. And if you've ever worked on German cars, i.e. Volkswagen, Audi, BMW, even in Mercedes, and really even getting into domestic and Asian cars as well, we're limited on space more and more. And so the closer you can get to the bit or to the fastener, the closer that bit and tool can get to the fastener, the better. Because many times, not only do you maybe have limited space to get it in there, but even when you have to look at, okay, you've got a 1-inch bolt that has to come out, and you've got 1¼ inches behind it, you've really got to stay as tight as you can to that fastener. So as you back it out, you're not hitting that wall and not being able to get the tool out, get the ratchet out, get the wrench out. So again, going to something like this really helps. And basically what this is, I'm sure you can see, mainly triple squares and Torx bits here, couple of sockets, but these smaller bits will coincide with a 12mm socket. Now, they include a 12mm socket in here as well. And so you pull out your bit, it has a ball bearing detent there, so it actually snaps in to the socket. So the bit's not going to fall out of there. So when you put your socket on there or put your a ratchet on there, it's not going to fall out. As I mentioned, not a special socket at all. Again, Schwaben makes a great socket, but the detent on the bit there is kind of the key that's going to snap into either this socket in here or the socket that you provide. Now, also, it's going to allow you to use this without a ratchet or a socket. Again, included in the kit are a 12mm wrench and a 19mm wrench, which on the ratcheting end is going to snap in there. So again, you get that nice low profile, but the bit's going to stay in there. You're not having to hold it in there where you're kind of, grabbing that Torx bit out of your, your handy little, driver kit, but it has no detent ball on it. And so those things just fall out. And so you're trying to hold it in, or you're wrapping a piece of tape around it or something like that. Well, now you've got a wrench, a ratcheting wrench in the case, flip it over, go the other way, lefty-loosey if you need to, or if you're really in those tight spots and need to use the closed end wrench, or the open end wrench, you can do that as well. And something cool, use that detent ball when you can. So if you're in a tight space and you need to break it free, and then maybe you can use your hand, use that detent ball and snap it in that one side of the open end. And now you've got the ability to feed that down in there and get to that fastener and break it free without that bit falling out anywhere. Now, I mentioned that I wanted to point out something in the case that I thought was kind of cool. Now, we talked about the detents. Well, what they've designed here in the case is there's a little spot for the detent where it will just sit in there. So if it's sitting in your toolbox drawer, it's not getting shaken around a lot. It's not moving around, and that's going to be fine. You can just drop it in there. It's going to fall into place. Pulling it out is really easy. But let's just say that you're like the typical of us. The drawers get slammed, or this gets thrown in your mobile kit and it gets bounced around, and all of a sudden your bits are flying around. Well, all you have to do is take your bit and turn it one turn, and then it's actually going to use that detent to actually hold that bit in place. And so now when the rest of them are flying out everywhere, the ones that you actually use that detent, and like I said, just turn it one turn, and it'll actually use the detent to hold that in the case. So I thought that's just kind of a cool little, and maybe they didn't even intend that, but I'm just giving you a little tip there that just turn these things one turn and it will kind of hold those into place and give it some resistance coming out. So again, very easy as they designed it to come out with the detent, or if you want to turn it and utilize that, you can. Obviously, as the small ones will match up with the 12 millimeter, these larger bits are going to line up with your 19 millimeter wrench. Again, you want to use your own wrench, your own ratcheting wrench. You definitely can, or regular wrench, you can do that, or your regular socket, but it also includes that 19 millimeter socket as well. And so this enables you to now, if you need to, and maybe you're not worried about the amount of space or anything like that, you can again take that triple square, put it into the socket, put it in your impact wrench, and now you're ready to go and you can zip that out. Or you want to be a little lighter on it, you take your impact driver with your 3/8 adapter, put it into that 12 millimeter or your 1/2 inch adapter and into the 19 millimeter, and use your socket or your impact driver to be able to remove those fasteners or drive them back in. So something that this may be very useful, and this is an Audi A6 3-liter supercharged engine. Timing chains have to be replaced, so everything has to come out. Timing chains are in the rear of the engine. So great opportunity to use a set like this, because all over the place there will be triple squares and Torx bits that are a pain to get to, no matter where they are, and especially space limited, if you will. So being able to use something like this will come in very handy here. And even when you don't need that space, again, you can hook it up to your favorite socket and impact wrench, impact driver, and be able to zip those out hurriedly as well without needing the space limitations or the space efficiency of what they provide. So let's talk about everything that comes in the kit. We get actually 4 of the larger triple squares. We get it in an M12, M14, M16, and the M18. Now, you can quickly notice that the 14, 16, and 18 come in the tamper-proof, so have the post in the fastener, and so you don't have to worry about finding that tamper-proof socket. You've got it right there in the triple squares. Also in the triple square are the smaller, the 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10 millimeter triple squares as well on the smaller 12 millimeter base on that also. And then as far as Torx goes, we get Torx everywhere from your T10 all the way up to your T70. I don't believe there are any skips. There's a 10, 15, 20, 25, 27, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, and 70. So yeah, a full array of your Torx bits from your 10 to 70 millimeter. And as I mentioned, your 12 millimeter wrench and 19 millimeter wrench and your 12 and 19 socket as well. Well, now I have a little bonus item for you, but great set on the 26-piece Stubby bit set that includes the wrenches and sockets, but they also have a 10-piece 10 millimeter master socket set. Now, we don't have to get into the cliche of what happens to our 10 millimeters. What? How did that? No way. Typical 10 millimeter. But it just happens all the time and we lose our 10 millimeters. So to have a set where you kind of have everything in one spot for a 10 millimeter, and it's so true, we need all of these from just a short socket that's impact rated and 1/4 inch, 10 millimeter. And then we have a shorty chrome vanadium 10 millimeter, because we would never use these on our impact wrenches, correct? No, that would never happen. Nobody does that. Then we have the short chrome universal 10 millimeter on 1/4 inch drive, deep socket 10 millimeter, 1/4 inch drive, deep socket, impact rated 10 millimeter, and then a short impact rated 3/8 drive 10 millimeter, and the rest of these should be 3/8. The chrome vanadium 10 millimeter, chrome vanadium polished 10 millimeter universal for 3/8, and then also the deep well 3/8 or deep socket 3/8, and the deep impact rated 3/8 as well. Pretty cool little case. It'll lay flat here in your tool drawer if you want to store it that way. You can also just kind of pick it up, pull it out, and kind of, you don't have to pick the whole thing up, even though that's really troublesome, isn't it? Anyway, just kind of a cool design that you can lift that up and pull it out and not have to disturb the rest of those to get to your 10 millimeter. So 10-piece, 10 millimeter set from Schwaben as well. Now, pricing on these, this is, I believe, $88 from ECS Tuning. This is $22 or $23 from ECS Tuning. And just a really, listen, that's a cheap kit to get 10 millimeter sockets, 10 millimeter sockets in every variation that you would probably need. And then, of course, the Stubby bit set, a very handy set. And as I mentioned as well, we're seeing more and more domestic stuff getting into these tight reach areas on the torx, even getting into your e-torx and in your triple squares as well. So definitely a needed kit, and the fact that they're kind of all in one place that includes your wrench, includes your sockets as well, and then the 10 millimeter set. Check it out from ECS Tuning. We'll have a link in the description. Now, we talked about pricing. This is 88 bucks. I believe this is $22 or $23. Now, this 10 millimeter set. Now, let me just explain to you. When you watch a review or when you watch a video, usually if there's an intro and outro, that is shot after all the review, all the B-roll is shot and everything else. That's typically how things work. Same way with movies a lot of times. All of your body of things are made, or it's made in reverse order. Such is the case with this. Our intro and outro was done after all the B-roll was shot, after all the action shots were shot. And literally, I grabbed this set, pulled it off the work table. Yes, I did not pick it up. I just kind of dragged it and grabbed it. What happened? In true 10 millimeter fashion, every single one of these, when this hit the ground, they went scattering, and 4 of them hit in places that haven't been touched in years. No joke whatsoever. But we found every single one of them. All of our 10 millimeters are back at home in the Schwaben case. Hey, be sure to keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. If you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And by all means, if you hated our video, well, give us a thumbs down. But would you let us know in the comments why? Have a great day and keep smiling.